Welcome to the OHSU Diagnostic Radiology Residency website. We hope you find the information you're seeking and that you get a sense for the people and experiences that make our program so wonderful. As program director, I believe that my most important responsibility is to do all that I can do to ensure our residents not just survive, but thrive during their time in our training program. We have an absolutely stellar group of residents who inspire me every day to do my job to the very best of my ability.
OHSU Radiology is a phenomenal clinical training program. We're the only academic medical center in the state, and even better than that, you get to live in Portland, which is a really cool city, one of the best places I've lived in. I've no doubt you'd enjoy being here.
This is my commute every morning.
There is an amazing restaurant and brewery scene within Portland, and most places are small, independently owned businesses, which really makes going out in Portland unique. Speaking of Portland institutions, I'm a huge book nerd, so Powell's Books is one of my favorite places. It takes up an entire city block and is amazing.
The support offered by OHSU faculty is truly a rarity. I can say personally they have a vested interest in my personal and professional growth and development. The faculty are approachable, they're understanding, and they're very encouraging. If you have a problem, they work with you to come up with a solution that helps propel you forward. I'm truly blessed to be part of such an institution and a program that is so uplifting.
So on the body service, we get residents involved from the very first day in a lot of different ways. When they first join us, we start with really basic fluoroscopy and ultrasound and CT interpretation skills. And the goal in every situation is to have the residents take ownership of the case they're working on and really get independent time to work with it before we step in and begin to review it with them. So every study is looked at first by a resident with some time to process it and come up with their own impressions. And then we talk through each case individually.
When I came to OHSU in 2001, I set out to develop a resident-centered learning environment. Over the years, we have consciously made decisions to balance the exposure of cases and procedures with the time to have direct faculty engagement in the education of residents. All of this is done with an intention to make sure that residents are treated as adult learners, that they are given responsibilities in an appropriate fashion and allowed to pursue the educational path that works best for them. To that end, we have developed a highly flexible curriculum and schedule to allow for a more individualized educational experience throughout training.
So I love Portland because Portland is a great city to live in. It's a smaller city that has a big city feel. We have so much great food, tons of local restaurants and bars, lots of breweries, amazing wineries. You never run out of options trying to figure out what to do or eat next. Also, we're surrounded by so much beautiful nature here. Just north of downtown Portland, we have the amazing Washington Park that has so many trails. We're an hour drive away from Columbia Gorge. We're an hour and a half drive from skiing and snowboarding in Mountain Hood. And the beautiful Oregon coast is just an hour and a half away. You'll never get bored trying to discover the beautiful Pacific Northwest here. But what I love most about Portland is the people that live here. There's so much diversity. You can really be who you want to be here, and people are so welcoming. I love living here, and the people here really can't wait to show newcomers why we love Portland and why it's one of the best cities to live in.
One of the things that's most important to me is finding medical students who I think will really be happy in this program. You can be a really smart person, but if you're in a place where you're not happy, whether that has to do with the people you're working with, the geography, the place, you may not be as successful as you could be otherwise. But if you're in a place where you feel like you thrive, where you feel like you fit in, where you feel like the people are supportive, then you're going to be able to have the best residency experience possible. And you're going to be the most successful resident you can be. So identifying people who I think would be happy in this program is probably the most important thing to me.
So when I was considering all the factors that I wanted in a job after fellowship, something that kept on coming up for me was just being around good people and feeling supported. And I've always felt that way at OHSU as a resident and as a fellow. It's been an incredible place to be with great mentors, and I wanted to continue to have that experience as I transitioned into the attending role. So that's why I wanted to stay at OHSU.
I was pretty involved in procedures when I was on our rotations. For bread and butter cases like lines, drains, and catheter placement, I found myself getting signed off by the attending pretty early on and would be doing the procedures with minimal supervision. For more complex cases, I might be getting the initial access, the pre-intervention diagnostic angiogram, or delivery of agents depending on the comfort level I build with the attending. All in all, I think you can be pretty involved as a resident on IR, and the degree of involvement will be directly correlated with interest level and preparation. I'm having a great time here at OHSU Daughter.
Hi. So this is really exciting because I get to talk to about the thing that I like most about my job. And I have to say I love solving puzzles. To me, looking at any imaging study is trying to figure out what happened to this patient, what is wrong with this patient, and what can I detect to put the pieces of the puzzle together to help this particular patient. That's one of the reasons why I really enjoy complex congenital cardiac studies and vascular studies, where I have to dig deep into the patient's medical history, understand the procedures that they had done before, and put them together with the imaging finding.
I'm excited to stay at OHSU for two main reasons. First is the people and the environment I'm going to work with. Everyone here is really supportive and really encouraging, and it's such a great place to be every day, and I look forward to coming to work. Secondly, OHSU is going to help me really move forward my educational aspirations. I'm really excited about trying to make new and innovative ways to teach new residents and teach residents not only in radiology but elsewhere, and OHSU will help me do that. I'm excited to stay on.